Since the new Smurfs film is out now, I thought, what the hey? I thought about revisiting the live action film Sony gave us, but I scrapped those plans. So instead, I've decided to review their last attempt with Sony, which is completely animated. Here's my review of Smurfs: The Lost Village. Big Days Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2017 animated fantasy adventure comedy flick Smurfs: The Lost Village, released by Columbia, along with Sony Pictures Animation. Sort of a reboot to their previous live action films and the third and final installment of the Studio Smurfs film series. Directed by Kelly Asbury, written by Stacey Harmon and Pamela Ribbon. The film features the voices of Demi Lovato in her feature film debut, along with Rainn Wilson, Joe Manganiello, sorry if I mispronounced that, Jack McBrayer, Danny Pudi, Michelle Rodriguez, Ellie Kemper, Ariel Winter, Jake Johnson, Meghan Trainor, Mandy, Patinkin, and Julia Roberts. In this film, a mysterious map prompts Smurfette, brainy, clumsy, and hefty, to find a lost village before Gargamel does. The film introduced the female Smurfs who appeared in the franchise the following year. Now, of course, it's based on the Smurfs comic book series created by the late great Belgian comics artist Peyo, and it was dedicated in memory of his wife. The film was released on April 7th in the US, 2 days after it made its premiere at Belgium. But however, it wasn't as big as the other two, although it did get mixed reviews, unlike its predecessors. And while not as successful, it still did okay and what have you. It became a little bit of a success. As it also was in ways dedicated to two of the voice actors from the live action films, who of course were Jonathan Winters, who voiced Papa Smurf in the live action films, whereas he voiced Grandpa Smurf in the 1980s animated series everybody knew and loved, and Anton Yelchin, the voice of Clumsy in the live action films. Alright, now that's out of the way, let's get into the story. A village of small blue people known as the Smurfs reside peacefully in Smurf Village. Their only female Smurfette was created by their arch enemy, the wizard Gargamel, to destroy them, but was redeemed by Papa Smurf and became part of the village. She feels that she is not fit in as she tries to find her purpose in life, which the other Smurfs have. While doing Smurf boarding, Smurfette encounters a mysterious creature wearing a leaf mask is captured by Gargamel and is taken to his castle. There, she accidentally reveals a hat the creature dropped before going into the Forbidden Forest, enabling Gargamel to create a brew that causes him to locate the village on a map. Hefty, Brainy, and Clumsy help Smurfette escape, and they return to Smurf Village, where Papa confines them to their houses as punishment for almost disobeying his orders. That night, Smurfette sneaks out to go look for the lost village in the Forbidden Forest to warn its inhabitants of Gargamel's arrival. With Brainy, Clumsy, and Hefty volunteering to join her, Gargamel discovers them trying to find the village and heads out with his pet cat Azrael and his vulture Monty to stop them. The four follow the map and have various adventures and encounter bizarre creatures, including Smurf eating flowers and a colony of fire breathing dragonflies, and they even escape a cavern maze with the help of a stampede of glowing green bunny rabbits. Eventually, back at Smurf Village, Papa checks in on Smurf and the other three guys in their rooms, but discovers they are gone and decides to find them himself. The four Smurfs make a campfire, tell stories, and make puppets and take a picture. The next morning, the Smurfs reach a river where they sail using a handmade raft. Following a brief chase, Gargamel, who caught up to them, is thrown out of his own raft as a log, and the Smurfs save him. However, you guessed it, Gargamel betrays them by pushing them out of their own raft as they plunge down a waterfall. The four find themselves on a beach and argue about being lost without Brainy's manual he told Hefty last night in fight. However, they are attacked, chased, and captured by the leaf-covered Smurfs who reveal themselves to be inhabitants of the Lost Village. They are taken to Smurfy Grove and meet Smurf Blossom, Smurf Storm, Smurf Lily, and their leader Smurf Willow, who all welcome the Smurfs to their home. Storm and Clumsy head away to locate Gargamel and alert the others. During the trip, Clumsy accidentally reveals that Smurfette was created by Gargamel, which causes Storm to distrust Smurfette. Meanwhile, Gargamel, Azrael, and Monty were led to the Swamp of No Return, a piranha-infested lake. Azrael spots Clumsy and Storm in the sky with Storm's dragonfly Spitfire. Gargamel commands Monty to retrieve them and attacks them in a sky dogfight, but they defeat Monty with a fire arrow and fly back to the village. Following a village tour earlier, Smurfette grows accustomed to life in Smurfy Grove, to the dismay of Hefty and Brainy. Storm and Clumsy return with Spitfire, revealing that Smurfette was created by Gargamel. Regardless, the female Smurfs prepare for an impending attack in the night. Later that night, Papa, having discovered the quartet's absence, arrives to bring them home, and the female Smurfs accept him into their home. Gargamel, Azrael, and Monty suddenly invade and destroy Smurfy Grove, capturing every girl Smurf. Smurfette is spared because she is not a real Smurf and thus is of use to Gargamel no more, leaving her crying in the ruins of Smurfy Grove. Feeling sad and heartbroken, Smurfette has shown a picture of herself with her friends they took in the camp last night, and after realizing what not being a real Smurf truly means, she heads back from the Forbidden Forest to Gargamel's lair at Smurf Forest to save her fellow Smurfs. Now for the ending, you know the procedure. You better stop this video right now. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. At Gargamel's lair, all the Smurfs have been imprisoned as Gargamel prepares to put into his Smurflayer, a machine capable of extracting their essence. The Smurfs attempt to escape using a plan from Brain until Gargamel spots them, puts them all into his machine, and gains power from their essence. Smurfette arrives and decides, to deceive Gargamel into believing she wants to be evil again. Gargamel uses his magic to turn Smurfette evil again, but realizes that she is absorbing his magical powers instead. As Smurfette absorbs the magic, she eventually explodes the lair, sending Gargamel, Azrael, and Monty flying back to the Swamp of No Return and being attacked by the piranhas again in Forbidden Forest. The Smurfs are freed away from their cages, but Smurfette has been turned into a piece of clay. Back at Smurf Village, the Smurfs make a memorial for their lost colleague on the bed of sunflowers, holding their hands, forming a circle, and silently mourning Smurfette's loss, with Papa referring to her as the truest Smurf of them all. Their energy and love for Smurfette brings her back to life, and the Smurfs think she is alive and celebrating and ready to take the picture. End of story. So what did I think of Smurfs Lost Village? Well, now I've only seen this a couple of times, unlike the live action films. Now I had a lot of fun with them. I mean, much to despite the critics hating them. Now I understand, even though I've come to like the classic animated series a whole lot more in those films than these films and what have you. But overall, I found this to be pretty fun and what have you. Well, despite it wasn't as big as the other two films, the film did okay and what have you, becoming a hit nonetheless, making $197 million worldwide on its $60 million budget. While reviews were much better than the live action films, Rotten Tomatoes has this at 41%, saying the film may satisfy very young viewers and hardcore Smurfaholics, but its predictable story and bland animation continue the franchise's recent mediocre streak. Well, now I can factually agree, but still, I thought the story was pretty decent and what have you. And introducing us to some female Smurfs, now that's something that I was not expecting. Metacritic has a score of 40, while audiences polled by Cinema Score gave the film an A, an improvement over the A minus the previous two films got. The following year, the film was awarded the Reframe Stamp in the 2017 Narrative and Animated Feature Recipients category. The Rap wrote, "It's significant that two female writers have taken a character who's mainly just existed to be cute and seductive and turned her into a full-fledged member of this universe." Now that's understandable too, yes. I'm actually surprised a couple of female writers would actually have what it took to do this. Variety said it's a pure digital fantasy with elegant and tactile animation, so it's more true to the Smurf spirit and should perform solidly. I kind of do agree on that as well, but the Hollywood Reporter said this is a mediocre effort that nonetheless succeeds in its main goal of keeping its blue characters alive for future merchandising purposes. Completely understand that too. Anyway, I really think Smurfs The Lost Village, I feel like it's a little underrated and what have you, but I still think it's pretty good and what have you. I can say, well, this film was directed by Kelly Asbury, whom we sadly lost 5 years ago. Yeah, because not so long ago he passed away 5 years ago, and of course he had recently directed Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron and Shrek 2 for DreamWorks, as well as Disney's, well, now defunct Touchstone's film Romeo and Juliet, and his last film being critically hated Ugly Dolls in 2019, just 1 year before his death. May he rest in peace. So he does a pretty good job on this and what have you. The score from Christopher Lenertz is pretty good, and it does have some pretty good music and what have you. In other words, some songs. Well, I'll say it's much more different than the other two films, but this is one that'll stay true to the Smurfiness we've all known and loved. Taking place in Smurf Village and in other spots that probably we would have think would be seen in the actual cartoon we saw long ago. Now, this wouldn't be the first time there would be an animated Smurfs film. Now, there actually was a Smurfs animated film that came out during the show's run, but of course, it was produced by another company, though. It was called Smurfs and the Magic Flute. I think that's what it was called. Yes. Now, also, one of the executive producers of the film was the guy who directed the two live action films, Raja Gosnell, which I think that was pretty good too. Anyway, I feel like this film had a little bit of colorful feel to it and with its music and other things. I think Smurfs The Lost Village is not completely that bad. I think it's a good film. Much as I'm really not too thrilled with that new film that Paramount Animation has out now because I ain't seen that one. I'll wait until it comes to streaming and then I'm probably gonna come down on it like a guillotine. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves yet. But stay tuned, we'll see. Now, the film's voice acting cast, I say, well, different than what we got from the live action films. I am going to say they're pretty good. Voicing Smurfette this time, like Katy Perry did in the live action films, we have another pop star voicer. Only it was someone who was also a celebrity and an actress. Demi Lovato plays the role. I'm going to say she's good. I liked her performance. Voicing Gargamel is Rainn Wilson, who most people would remember from TV's The Office. Papa Smurf is was voiced by Mandy Patinkin. Patinkin. Now, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this name and what have you, but well, he's been in numerous movies and what have you. Please stand by. He had also done numerous TV shows, including Criminal Minds and Homeland, which he actually was doing at that time. Well, he's pretty good. Maybe not as good as Jonathan Winters was, but he still does a good job. Joe Manganiello. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. What? Manganiello. That's how you pronounce it. Who, of course, most people would remember him from HBO's True Blood, voiced Hefty. I'm gonna say he's pretty good. Voicing Clumsy is Jack McBrayer, who recently voiced Felix, well, Fix It Felix Jr. in Disney's animated film Wreck-It Ralph, and then the following year, its sequel. I'll say he was good. Voicing Brainy Smurf is Danny Pudi, whom that same year would voice Huey in the 2017 reboot of DuckTales. He was also well known for appearing on NBC's hit Community TV series. Voicing Smurf Blossom is Ellie Kemper, who also appeared on The Office, as well as the unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She had also recently appeared in movies like Bridesmaids and 21 Jump Street. Voicing Smurf Storm is Michelle Rodriguez, who I remember from Resident Evil as well as the Fast and the Furious franchise. I've got to say, she's good. Voicing Smurf Lily is Ariel Winter, who most people would remember played Alex on the recent hit comedy Modern Family. Let's see. And voicing a musical girl Smurf named Smurf Melody is none other than a person who contributed to this song, well, this film soundtrack. It's none other than Meghan All About That Bass Trainor. And of course, this would be the second time she lent her little musical talent to the soundtrack to an anime feature, after recently doing one for the Peanuts movie a couple of years prior. Others voices we have Jake Johnson as Grouchy Smurf, Gordon Ramsay, that name sounds familiar, as Baker Smurf, Titus Burgess as Vanity Smurf, Gabriel Iglesias voicing Jokey Smurf, Jeff Dunham as Farmer Smurf, the director himself, Callie Asbury as Nosy Smurf. Oh yeah, and Mandy Patinkin, of course, was also our narrator. And voicing Smurf Willow is Julia Roberts. Now, I was surprised to hear her voice in this. I must say she does a good job too. So the voice acting cast is pretty good. While it may not be one of the best animated films out there, and probably not one of Sony Pictures Animation's best, though, but I still would rank it up there. And believe me, this is one film I'd much rather watch over some of their, well, one of their dull films. That was the Emoji Movie. I never would want to watch that again, but at least I would rather watch this over that. So with everything said, Smurfs The Lost Village can be a hit or miss. I mean, its animation's not too bad. Its characters are really good. Voice acting cast is good, and it's got a great soundtrack and scores. And I'm impressed that a couple women wrote this film story. So enough said about it. Would I recommend Smurfs: The Lost Village? Well, I'd say sure, go ahead. I mean, if you're a hardcore Smurfs fan, then this would be right up your alley. So, what did you think of Smurfs: The Lost Village? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And you know the rest. Share my vids with your friends if you'd like. Join me next time when I review Girl Interrupted. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews of the 2 live action films Sony put out before that. this film. In the upper left hand corner is my review of the Smurfs from 2011. The upper right hand corner is my review of the Smurfs 2 from 2013. Or if you like a live action adaptation of an animated character, check out my recent spoiler free review of Dora and the Search for Soldorado. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.